Hit it, Logan.
It's After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
Your weekly download of their extracurricular activities. Powered by Adult Source. Goodies for grown-ups. 100% Canadian owned. Enjoy.
This week on After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
They're real meatballs.
Would you rather play soccer with a hat on or not?
You need a third, a co-host, a third co-host?
That's not eating a hot dog. Episode 106.
Marco Carducci from the Calgary Cavalry. Thank you so much for joining us. You have been on our show before, but you braved to come to the podcast. So let it fly, man. I guess we laid ground rules before you got here, but you can let a swear drop. Don't worry, we do.
Nice.
We have drinks. It's truly after hours. So
it's very kind of like what we were just doing because the three of us were just talking.
We invite you to just relax and take a load off, and you're just like running through your crazy busy schedule with us off the mic here about your full days with the Cavalry. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you have some other great initiatives that you're involved in that if anybody hasn't listened to you on our show before, they might not know about. So
sure. Well, first of all, thank you. Episode 106, by the way. Wow.
Yeah. So we're celebrating with the Wild Rose Brewery Raspberry Fruit Ale. It's one of my favorites from Calgary. It's good.
It is
I'm
good.
excited. Well, cheers. Let me have a sip first.
Yeah, go ahead. Get a little
enjoy it.
courage in you.
I like it.
It's not bad, eh?
It's nice.
Yeah.
It is just like it's branded, refreshing, and effervescent, and tart.
Wow. Look at you. You're the first guest who ever gave like a rundown of the beer.
Wild Rose, you can maybe DM me or something. No, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here. Obviously, it's been a lot of fun being on the show. You guys are such great supporters of the team and what we're doing, so thank you. We were chatting a little bit. I keep myself busy with a few things, and one of those is a local charity in the city called One Ball, named One Ball. You'll know why in a second. Founded by, run by, and in support of testicular cancer. So all the people involved, for the most part at least, are survivors. One Ball because we are all proud one ballers as a result of our diagnosis, our experience with testicular cancer. That was me 3 years ago now, which is crazy. Just a little over 3 years ago, I was diagnosed. I had surgery. I've been healthy ever since, which I'm super grateful for.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, that's very
Thank you. But my biggest thing with all of that has been to continue the advocacy, the awareness, talking about it. So that brings me back around to a really fun initiative I got going on coming up very soon, April 23rd to 30th, in partnership with the Italian Center Shop down in Willow Park.
Ooh, firm supporter.
Yeah.
Firm supporter.
My friends there, Gino, Sarah, the rest of the team, they are just wonderful people, and they run an amazing shop with so many goodies. It's awesome. They're wonderful. Their staff are wonderful, and they're really involved in the community, and they do such great work. So it was a no-brainer for me to reach out to them. Like I know them all really well, and what we've come up with is what's called Marco's Meatball Pizza. You can see it's
on theme.
The real meatballs. It's on theme. We've come up with a pizza. It is a limited time offer, like I said, from the 23rd to the 30th. You can either pick it up in the cafe in store, so have it fresh there, have a nice lunch, or you can have the take and bakes that they have. So you can pick it up in store. They're like par baked versions, so you just throw them in the oven when you get home. So either in store or to take home, and proceeds of each pizza sold will go directly to One Ball. So really excited about it. Just a fun way to partner with with the Italian Center Shop, people who are, again, amazing, doing a lot of work in the community, and then in support of One Ball in terms of, again, the advocacy, the funding of research, and all that stuff around testicular cancer, which is, of course, near and dear to my heart. So, really excited about it.
Yeah, it's good to be aware of.
And the pizza's good.
Yeah.
Delicious.
You don't have to
very good.
We're from Edmonton, where I know their original store is. And so I am sold through and through. But I think what's cool is a lot of people probably hear testicular cancer and don't necessarily associate such a young face with, you know what I mean? Which I'm sure is important.
Well,
you guys want to make people aware of, right?
Absolutely. And what is really important about that, I'm glad you said, Mariah, is that it's actually the most common cancer for young men.
Wow.
And
I had
no one
to get checked in grade 6. It was
Really?
mortifying for me at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't have it, but now my girlfriend's always like, you got to go get checked all the time.
Well, and that's the thing, right? For one, there is a stigma around it because, A, it's men. Men don't like talking about anything, really.
I don't think you had ever known that about me either.
But it's also not, like lunchtime at, the parents catching up over, the type of conversation, right? And like I said, we're talking about young men. In my case, a young man, I was 25 at the time, and a professional athlete. So you're like in the most hyper masculine competitive world, and the thought of like showing any vulnerability in that setting is a big risk. And I know, like, I could feel that too. I was like, oh, well, it's fine. I'm fine. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Which is the mentality a lot of young men have. And we're talking, Ty, you're saying like you were even younger, but the range that I, hear a lot is, I'm not a doctor, but from my experience and now what I know, 15 to 35. Like
Wow.
you're a boy at that age, right? And it can happen. And, I like to think of, we all know October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we talk about it, and it's out there and it's present, and that's awesome, as it should be, right? There isn't a stigma around that nearly the same as much as there is around testicular cancer, right? So it's not about competing, but it's about why aren't we talking about it? And again, there's all these these bumps in the way, no pun intended there, but like of like young men, they don't want to talk about this. They don't want to show vulnerability. They don't want to be, open with sharing that kind of experience. And the biggest thing is that although it's the most common cancer for young men, it is also extremely treatable. Very, very treatable.
Good.
The earlier you get it done. I mean, for me, we noticed symptoms, diagnosed, had surgery. Thankfully, since then, just been on a routine kind of surveillance schedule, but no other treatment needed. And that's can often be the case if it's treated early. So awareness is important. Self-checking is extremely important, and that's why I want to keep talking about it.
Wow.
Well, you're totally right. It's definitely a very faux pas topic you'd see, but it's so common. You should be able to talk about it more. And are you still doing? You were doing something for the saves last year, Teresa?
Yeah.
Are you doing that again this year?
I'm not this year. I thought of trying to do things more like this, the Marco's Meatball Pizza with the Italian Center Shop, as more like targeted maybe throughout the year and partnering with some groups. We had a lot of fun last year, so it was the save counter. Had a lot of people pledge. So for every save, we raised whatever the amount you pledged. Every save was that dollar amount that was contributed.
Yes.
And we ended up raising over just shy of $8,000, I think, which
Wow.
was fantastic. But admittedly, I was doing a lot of like the admin behind the scenes. I was like, this is hard work. This is a lot of time consuming. And it gets drawn out over a year, which is, for one, April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. So again, it's not really
perfect.
talked about. It's not really known. But so I thought, okay, let's get something done in April. And I'm hoping to do a couple more things like this throughout the year.
Well, I think it's good that you can shift between different local businesses or different local initiatives and kind of partner. And I think everybody grasps onto that. And just speaking back to what you said about vulnerability, like it's good to have somebody, it's so ironic, somebody in peak physical condition, an athlete can even have these struggles, right? Where maybe people can relate to that no matter what stage of life they're in. So
For sure.
It's so fabulous you decided to come on for April. But yeah, we have so much more to talk to you about.
You also do like a million other charity initiatives. Like you were doing things to raise money for youth soccer the other day. I saw you had a big event for that. I wanted to go. I just bought a new place, so I could not afford to go. But what are the other charity initiatives you're working on?
I, for one, am a big supporter of Kids Sport. With Kids Sport Calgary, I've been an ambassador since 2019. They are an incredible organization. There's chapters throughout the country. And I was, really lucky to get in with a team here at Kids Sport Calgary. For me with them, they are, just like the need is there because, one of the amazing things is the more work Kids Sport does and the more money they raise and put back into youth sport, it's really incredible to see that. But what it is actually doing is it's showing that the need is growing and growing. Sports are more expensive. a lot of families cannot afford to put their kids into sport, and that's where Kids Sport steps in. So it's amazing to see the work they do, but the demand for their help is only getting higher. It was only going big. So Cavs are a big support of Kids Sport as well, which is awesome. What you're referring to actually a couple months ago.
He knows.
I think it was. I think we're talking about the Villains Gala that I helped put on. So Calgary Villains is a youth soccer club in the city, and the club that I grew up playing for.
Oh,
so
nice.
Really cool full circle moment of just helping out in the back end. It's kind of like an informal role, a bit of a club ambassador or whatever. But one of the big issues we're seeing in the city that is felt across sports, but in soccer right now, like crazy high, is we don't have nearly enough indoor field space. Like the facilities we do have are doing their very best, but they're just bursting at the seams. I point to this story because it's something I think paints the picture of how this is felt across, whether you're a professional like us or a kid or playing like rec soccer. My older brother, every game he plays, and he's just playing rec soccer right now with staying fit, loves the game, having fun. Games don't start any earlier than like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get up for work in the morning tomorrow.
That's
and it's too
struggle.
much.
I quit playing rec basketball because I could not take it. It was too late at night.
By the time you get home, it's like if you're playing in a beer league, you have
It's
a beer.
two different mindsets. Like I had
Exactly.
teammates who were like, if we were close, they wanted to go to overtime, and I was like, I got to get up in the morning. Like I was like, we
just let
can
'em-
lose this game.
Yeah,
it's
just
fine.
miss that shot. It's fine.
It's fine.
No, and I mean, again, it's across sports. It's actually a big thing right now. One of my nerdier things is I'm really like interested in local politics and kind of the way like
Should have been
this
on our
city.
episode
Yeah, we were
last
talking politics
week.
last week,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
incredible. Yeah.
but in terms of like municipal and in the city, it's a big thing right now. We're talking about how does Calgary, which we want to be a world-class city, keep up with the demand of sport across ages and levels and sports in general, right? Like whatever it is. So, with Villains, we've been working on a project to build a new full-size indoor facility. So we're talking like 11v11 size soccer fields where, you can play a full-size game or you can break it into smaller fields, which is what we're doing now. So you'd have like 6v6 or 7v7 fields, which is where most of our youth soccer is playing. And that's the biggest thing. Like, I talk about us as the pro team not having a lot of places to train in the winter. I talk about my brother's team having to play at very late, but some of the I hear stories of like kids that are playing like 6 a.m. games because there's no other time to play, and it's just like, again, the demand is continually getting higher and higher, but there's simply just not enough space. So trying to address that too, trying to use my voice and influence a little bit to hopefully promote building more of these facilities because we need them.
Wow. Well, I think that's pretty cool that you can say you're thinking about your community on another level of involvement. And also, like, I was just reading, there's just been a shift in what parents are maybe choosing to put their kids in and giving them all the options. I know that there was such a burst over the past couple of years since COVID in young girls wanting to enroll in rec league soccer, which I think is amazing. So yeah, you have this growing demand, right? And I think that you need to facilitate that because so many people, Calgary's on the map, right? Like think about how many people just within Canada have moved to this city.
Yeah.
And that's something everybody can unite together for, right?
Yeah.
As a beloved sport.
And the risk is that if the facilities don't keep up, and again, this is not exclusive to soccer, but if the facilities can't keep up, how many of those kids are going to stop playing?
Totally.
You know, like I think about it, I always was fairly good and like, competed at a high level even when I was younger, but like,
You're like, I got here somehow. I don't know.
I'm pretty good at soccer. No, but like if you had like a 6 a.m. game every weekend or like your parents can't get you there. Again, the reality is that like I was super lucky. My parents did everything to get my brother and I to all the practices. They could afford the trips we went on. And when I got more competitive, they were able to facilitate that for me. And I'm so grateful for that. But again, that's not the case for everybody. And if we don't have just the space in the first place to accommodate that across levels, so many kids are going to miss out. Like you're saying there, Mariah, like kids are going to drop out because they're going to say, I'm not going to wake up at, 6 a.m. to go or earlier to go play a game. Like it should be accessible. It should be inclusive. And there should be, more than enough space to accommodate that. And we're playing catch up. Again, the demand's only going to keep growing.
It's a good, healthy thing for young kids to be doing.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Totally.
For sure.
After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
We do have to mention that After Hours with Mariah and Ty is brought to you by Adult Source, goodies for grown-ups.
That's right. More than just wall-to-wall video. They have many locations across Calgary, which you can go visit or go to their online platform as well.
So, guess what's happening this Friday, Marco? I guess it'll be tomorrow by the time this comes out. You're going to be kitting up, getting ready to go have your home opener.
It's about time. Excited. Yeah.
Yes.
Really looking forward to it.
Yes.
The defending champions. So, what are you hoping for? Are you trying to get the CONCACAF Cup? You want to do the double, which is winning the Shield and the North Star Cup? Or are you trying for the triple? What do you want?
Well, yeah. I mean, the goal is, I think it's a cliche answer, but it's true. The goal every year, everybody wants to win, obviously. But we finally checked off that box last year of winning playoffs and having that nice shiny. Yeah,
Congrats.
Thank you.
Do you like that they do a playoffs?
You know, I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to like how soccer, football around the rest of the world, it's about the league table, right?
Yeah.
So I think winning a league table over the course of an entire season is absolutely harder to do.
And that's
Okay.
what your favorite club, Lazio, tries to do, correct?
Yes, but with little success for a long time, unfortunately. But yeah, like across the world, right? In Italy, in England, whatever. When you win the league, you finish first, and that's the big thing, of course. But here in North America and how we view sports is different, and I recognize that because even when we won playoffs last year, I was like, no, this is awesome because it's winning a final, winning a one-off game. The intensity is really high, but we just weight it much more highly here. So I'll be the first to say, we'd lost 2 finals before, won the season before, and then back in 2019, and that sucked, right? Because you get so close and you push it all the way, and people view the playoff winner as the champion. So all this to say, yeah, we absolutely want to do that again. No one's done the double, right? No one's won the league and the playoffs, so targets on that. But it's a long season, right? Just got to go one step at a time.
Yeah. I guess just even from a new fan base perspective, how you're saying that people kind of associate this playoff win with, it's huge obviously for them. Is that maybe the CPL trying to market to a wider audience a little bit instead of just traditionally doing the league?
I think does MLS do it too?
MLS does
it's
it too.
It's like a North American thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, right? They're trying to lean into maybe people that are watching other major league sports and going, this is a little bit more traditional here. Let's squeeze everything we can get out of this team. Right?
I think you're right, Mariah. I think it's exactly that. It's this continuous push and pull between tradition versus what is good North America. Exactly. So MLS does it, and same thing, right? Like you win the league and people are like, good job, you won the league. But when you win playoffs, they're like, you're the champion.
We want more.
Yeah.
These fans are never happy.
Those 8 months of season, where you played and you have to go away and win and consistently be the best. They're like, whatever, it's playoffs. So you're right. It's this constant push and pull. You have the purists, you have the traditionalists who are like, no, we got to do it the old way or no way. And then you have people who are like, well, this is the way we do it here. And so, yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. But when it comes to this year, it's like the first thing to do is try to win the league. And then you focus on playoffs, right? So.
And how does a goalkeeper from Canada do this? How did you
do this level?
How did you become who you are today?
Tell us a little bit about, because I feel like we've talked about.
Because I feel like if you're out there and you're being a striker and you're lighting up the leagues, the goals will just show. How does a goalkeeper do this?
Yeah, a good question. I mean, the life of a goalkeeper, I think across any sport that has a goalie, right? I guess hockey would be kind of the other comparable. You don't really see goalkeepers at any level just burst onto the scene as hot 20-year-old player, up and coming. It doesn't happen very often. When it does, we're talking about generational talents. So it's a long journey as a goalkeeper. My journey was like that too. It's funny, right? Because there's this catch 22, so to speak, of you need to be experienced, or it's good to be experienced as a goalkeeper, right? You want someone who's had a lot of games, a lot of minutes. But to get the experience, you need to play. But you don't get the minutes unless you have, the experience. And then you can't become experienced unless you play, right? So it's this loop of, that's why it takes a long time often for goalkeepers to work their way through. And you often see them peak, like let's talk about soccer goalkeepers. You see goalkeepers at their best in their like 30s, whereas
And didn't Scott Foster play till he was like 40 something?
there's many. Like I think of like a guy like Gianluigi Buffon, who is like my idol, Italian, one of the best ever. He was playing at like 43.
I was just about to ask, like, is there...
Same with hockey, like Dwayne Rollison for the
That's
Oilers.
true,
He was like
that's
44.
true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there is always this ticking, clock. I mean, I'm sure it applies to all professional athletes, but like, look at Ovechkin. This guy's got dad strength, and he just hit his career high at like he's 38. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, for goaltenders, I always thought that perhaps it was a little bit more of a narrowed window of when your prime exists. I mean, goalkeepers in football and soccer, it's just such a strenuous position that you're doing.
Yeah, but you have like a longer shelf life.
That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
again, like I said, and I think that this is fairly common. There obviously always are exceptions, but like when you're like 32, 33, 34 as an outfield player, people are like, oh, you're getting near the end, right? Or
Okay.
you're aging out. And it depends on positions, and we'll spare the audience all those nitty-gritty details there. But oftentimes goalkeepers again are just like entering their best years around then. So yeah, it's to go back to your original question is like I was really lucky. CPL became a thing at a time when I was a young goalkeeper, hadn't really played, needed to find a place where I could play to start developing, to start getting those minutes. And I was just fortunate that Cavalry became a thing. And
But what
my
age were you
hometown-
when you started, like, being a goalie? Because how do you get the minutes? Like, that's what I don't get.
So, I mean, I started like fully playing as a goalkeeper when I was a kid, right? Like that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to be a goalie because I loved it. I love the position. That's when I'm talking like 10 years old, right? Where I was like, and I think there's a lot of value in playing multiple positions at that age. But, for me, that's when I really started taking it seriously. I went to Vancouver to join the Whitecaps when I was just about 15 years old. I was 14, so I was really young.
Oh.
Went to join the academy. So I left. That was in between grade 9 and grade 10 for me. So I went out. Yeah, so I was young. It's crazy. I
didn't know that about you. Okay.
Yeah, so I went out to Vancouver, joined the academy. Again, I'm very fortunate. Many times throughout my career so far, there's been really good strokes of timing. They had just expanded the program, so they were starting to look for players across the country. I obviously impressed them enough to have them invite me. So I went out there. Lots of guys from Alberta, the other prairie provinces throughout BC, even out in Ontario. Like we were like a mix mash team of all these, the top players kind of coming together. So that was my first real like journey into professional. I was a youth player, but I was in a professional academy. Made my way through that. Signed with the first team in Vancouver, so with the Whitecaps. Signed an MLS contract when I was 17, and then sat on the bench for 3 years because that's what happens when you're a young goalkeeper. And I had some moments and played a couple games. I made my debut. That was really cool. But I wasn't, for when I was nowhere near being ready to play at that level. I was young, and I look back and think I thought I knew everything. And I was like, I'm good. And I'm like, no, dude, I would have got eaten alive. And I did in some games, right? Like it's a different beast. And that's comes around to being like, you need to get the minutes and the time to grow. And I kind of missed that for a couple of years. So then I ended up, when I left Vancouver, all in all, I was there for like 6-7 years. I spent 3 years with the first team there. I went down to play for a team in Texas, actually kind of randomly, in the USL, which is like the second division, sort of speak of in the States. Didn't really get a lot of playing time there either, struggled. And yeah, it was tough. I was like living in the middle of nowhere in Texas. Kind of came off of a high of being like this up and coming like talent in Vancouver, and Vancouver was all I knew, right? It was home. It was the club I was at. I thought I'd go and play forever there, and that obviously you get the reality check. It didn't happen, and I just needed a place to play. So that brings me to that was the end of 2017, and then in 2019 the CPL started. So I came back in 2018, had a little bit of we had a season with the PDL, and we were kind of building a team. So again, spare everyone the details, but the point is, I was like, I need to enjoy my soccer again, because I absolutely was not at that time, and I needed a place to play and kind of be able to grow and learn and make mistakes and get all this experience, or at least start getting it. And to have that opportunity show itself in my hometown was a stroke of fortune and privilege that I'm so lucky to have had.
That is a pretty cool full circle moment. And I think just speaking to what you said about how maybe you needed everybody goes through that probably in their 20s. It's pretty fair to say that whether it's your career or hobby or whatever you're doing, you need a little bit of an ego check at some point.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure Ty and I can say that we haven't had the level of success doing anything like you have, but you get really passionate about something, and then you think you're obviously scouted for a reason, and then it's almost maybe imperative that you did have that moment where you were not playing as much as you wanted, and then one door closes, another door opens. So
I think so. I'm sure you both could speak to similar experiences. It's the same thing. It's just I play soccer, but you need to learn and fail and try again, and then an opportunity presents itself somewhere where you didn't think, and you have to be able to embrace that in sport. But those are life lessons, right?
Yeah.
I'm grateful. At the time, I thought it was the end of the world when I was oh, this is all falling apart. But it taught me a lot about myself and life and perseverance and all those good
He
things.
says it more eloquently than we do.
We
talk for a living. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you took a.
Do you need a co-host? A third co-host?
Literally, I'm you fill this time fabulously. You say it so nicely.
No, I talk too much sometimes, so cut me off, please.
No, we love it. But now it is time for Mariah and Ty's Game of the Week.
Mariah and Ty's Game of the Week.
All right, so Marco, we've been on a bit of a Would You Rather game kick.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a Would You Rather. It's not guest specific at all. So it's just completely...
What does that mean?
I'm not doing it being would you rather play soccer with a hat on or not? Nothing like that. It's completely random, and I apologize. I didn't come up with these.
Okay. I won't hold it against you.
So you and Mariah are both going to answer this, okay? You guys can debate it, and then you can come up with your answer.
That's correct.
Marco Carducci, the goalkeeper of the Calgary Cavalry. Would you rather eat a hot dog every time you're greeted or feel great constantly, but you end every conversation by flipping the other person off?
This is an easy one for me, actually.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so too, but maybe we'll have different answers.
You're I already
Now that you
flip
say
people
that, I
off.
think we might have different
Are we the
answers.
same?
I know you well enough by now. My choice would be the first. I'd rather have to eat a hot dog.
The hot dogs are good. I have no issues with the hot dog.
I just crush it real quick and hope for the best.
You're too nice. I'm already such a bitch. I'm I'd flip people off.
You already do that.
So where's the choice? I mean,
Yeah, I was what do you mean?
that's funny. My concern, I'd have a hard time doing that. I guess I'm too nice, and I'd be man, I gotta text
game
them
day,
later.
though, you're walking through the locker room, everyone's saying hi to you. How many hot dogs are you eating?
That's true.
This could be your energy.
Damn.
This could be your, you end press releases with just a fuck you.
You say hi to every press person you talk to. You'd be oh, 1 second before I answer your question.
Hold on, just gotta. I'd
You would
be
ruin the athlete bod. I don't know.
You'd be after spending more time in the gym then. Or
was-
you can just flip them off.
I took
when you're
this as an
done.
extreme hypothetical, but yeah, now that you say it, practically speaking, it might be tough to eat a hot dog every time. I would have had to eat 5 hot dogs today, just now, just here, not today, just since I got here.
But you are also a good person for it because you do a lot of cardio. So I'm maybe it wouldn't
Yeah,
even.
but I'm a goalie. I don't run that often, so I would really.
You'd save on your
it could do
grocery bill
damage.
too, though.
That's true.
But you
Could
would
I-
also,
do I
if you
have
do the
to
other
eat-
way, you might make a lot of enemies. That's
Okay.
I know. I don't want to make
You're
enemies.
gonna say, do you have to do what?
Could I store them for later? Could
No,
I?
you
could
have
I
to
put
eat them right there on the spot.
I couldn't
You
put a
can't
hot dog
store
in my
them for
back
later.
pocket and be all
No,
right,
because
I'll
what
get
if
to
you
this.
forget? What if you just go to bed? Then you're not doing it.
What doesn't eat? No, do you just
To
take a little
consume the whole-
nibble?
I didn't say
just
have
a little bite
I
and
didn't say
toss
have
it?
a little bite of a
Have a-
hot
That's
dog.
you
I have a
eating
wee
it?
nibble of a.
We nibble just.
That's not eating a hot
No.
dog.
Now that I think about it, practically speaking, I'd have to go with Mariah, but I'd have a hard time. I'd be I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
You'd be this
I
is
know
the
I
new
just
thing.
flipped you the bird,
This is so green.
Yeah. You haven't heard? You haven't heard the podcast?
It's good.
Yeah, so that's a tough one. It's a really tough one, actually.
That is tough.
At least it wasn't about the Civil War this time.
Oh my god!
Last time it was.
We had
Wow.
one of our friends on Human. He owns Element Cafe just down the way.
Nice.
But
Great coffee shop.
it was would you rather like sweat butter or something? And then it was like,
or
where
always dresses a Civil War soldier.
Yeah, and then he was like,
he's like,
north
"Which
or
side?"
south? I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, that's important to make sure.
It was good. So sometimes I
wearing
get down to the nitty gritty, but I was like, I'll run the risk of the
sweat
old.
butter.
Yeah, it was gross. You know,
Yeah.
I'm glad this wasn't a gross one.
Where did you find these questions, Tom?
I'll never tell.
Okay, actually, it's probably
He's
better
like,
that you don't.
That's right.
All up here.
No, it's not. I didn't come up with them. I swear.
That's
I swear it.
yeah.
Is it probably ChatGPT?
No, it's not ChatGPT. I swear to that as well. It's not an
Oh.
AI.
Okay.
Anyways, what did you guys think of the Wild Rose Raspberry Ale Fruit Ale? I give it a 10 out of 10.
I love it. I would agree. I think it's a nice, light, smooth drink, and that's my type of beer.
Yeah. I'll give it a 10 out of 10 too. And I buy these. Mr. Bunce likes these because he thinks our dog Arthur looks like the guy on the can.
The wolf man?
Yeah. So I do. I'm
Fox
biased.
man?
I do like the art. But yeah, delicious tasting. It tastes almost like a cider.
Have you
which I
been
kinda
there?
like. Yeah, I have.
Have you been there?
I haven't.
It's the Air Hanger brewery. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is, but I haven't actually been.
Yeah, so
But it's pretty cool.
Good hot dogs too.
Better get warmed up. Can you guys just keep them coming?
Marco is going to be in action on Friday, taking on Vancouver, correct?
Yeah, Vancouver FC.
And hit your event one more time. We'll put the link to info on that in the show notes.
Cool. Yeah, April 23rd to 30th, you can head down to the Italian Center shop down in Willow Park. We are selling Marco's Meatball Pizza. Proceeds are going to One Ball, a local testicular cancer charity, and a group I've worked with for a bit.
Wow.
And the pizza,
Excellent.
again, is very good. I've had multiple of those pizzas.
It's a win-win.
The Italian Center is
delicious.
fantastic. I had to shop there during
Yeah.
COVID in Edmonton because it was the only place that was still open.
I do like
It's best.
the par bake too. That's good if you want to just take it home.
Correct. Important part. You can buy it in store at the cafe, or you can take the
Yes.
kind of take and bakes, which are really good. Like, they turn out great. You just throw them in your oven. I mean, the instructions are on the thing, but easy, delicious. Yeah. Don't want to tell you $4.50 for 12 minutes. And
Oh, look at that!
no, don't quote me on that. That's what I'm saying. I think it's that.
That's hilarious.
No, it's a great pizza. It's got a marinara sauce, obviously, mozzarella, made in store meatballs, so they're fresh, they're delicious. Shallots, roasted red peppers, pecorino romano.
You're selling us.
Well, now I'm hungry.
Chef's kiss.
That's amazing. Okay, Marco, well, we wish you all the best of luck, obviously, on the game. We'll be
you.
dialed in for the season, and yeah, we'll hope to see you on the field here soon. So.
Sounds great.
Thanks for coming on. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having
This
me.
video, we wave.
Yeah.
Boom, we're done.
You've been listening to After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
Powered by Adult Source. Goodies for grown-ups. 100% Canadian owned.
Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and have the new episode of After Hours with Mariah and Ty downloaded weekly to whatever device you use.